In 1995, the US government made a seemingly simple decision, reintroducing 14 Canadian wolves into Yellowstone National Park. Yet, this action was far more profound than it appeared. It not only brought back a species, but also sparked a complete transformation of a failing ecosystem, leading to environmental recovery and even generating $94 billion in economic benefits for the country. To understand how just 14 wolves triggered such a monumental shift, we need to revisit the chain of events that began decades earlier. In the early 20th century, wolves were vilified as dangerous predators and a threat to livestock. The government hired hunters to eliminate them, and by 1926, the last wolf pack in Yellowstone was wiped out. At the time, this eradication was seen as a success. But the long-term consequences for the park's ecosystem were devastating. Initially, the absence of wolves seemed inconsequential. However, over time, Yellowstone's balance began to unravel. Without their natural predators, elk populations surged, and by the 1990s, their numbers reached around 19,000. These unchecked herds overgrazed young trees, shrubs, and vegetation, stripping the land bare. Human hunting proved ineffective in controlling their behavior, as wolves provide more than population control. They create what ecologists call a landscape of fear. Wolves influence prey behavior, forcing them to move more frequently and avoid areas like riverbanks, where they are most vulnerable. When wolves returned, elk could no longer linger in these areas, allowing vegetation to recover. Willow and aspen trees began to grow again, stabilizing the soil and preventing erosion. This recovery even altered the shape and flow of rivers, making them more stable and healthier. The resurgence of vegetation didn't just benefit the landscape. It created habitats that attracted other species back to the park. Beavers, for instance, made a remarkable comeback. Their dams slowed water flow, creating wetlands that supported fish, amphibians, and waterfowl. This ripple effect continued, as species like otters, birds, and insects found new homes in the revitalized ecosystem. The return of wolves also benefited larger predators like grizzly bears. Wolves often leave behind the remains of their kills, providing a critical food source for bears, particularly in the spring. Additionally, with fewer elk consuming berries and vegetation, food sources for bears increased, giving them a nutritional boost. Interestingly, the wolves' presence even reshaped the park's predator hierarchy. Coyotes, which had thrived in the absence of wolves, saw their numbers drop by 50%. This decline allowed populations of smaller mammals, such as rabbits and rodents, to grow, increasing biodiversity and enriching the food web. Economically, the wolves' return became a boon for local communities. Wolf-watching tourism now generates around $35 million annually. Restored forests absorb more carbon dioxide, helping combat climate change, a benefit worth billions. Cleaner waterways and wetlands have reduced water treatment costs and improved flood management, further enhancing their economic value. Despite these gains, the reintroduction of wolves wasn't without controversy. Ranchers feared for their livestock, and hunters worried about reduced game populations. Over time, however, many skeptics changed their views. Some ranchers have found ways to coexist with wolves, while others have embraced ecotourism opportunities. The project has also inspired similar rewilding efforts worldwide, demonstrating the potential for large-scale ecological restoration. Today, Yellowstone is home to a thriving population of over 500 wolves, drawing hundreds of thousands of visitors each year. These wolves have not only revived the park's ecosystem, but have also taught us a critical lesson. Nature possesses an extraordinary capacity for self-healing when we restore its missing pieces and step back to let it function. The story of Yellowstone's wolves reminds us of the intricate connections within ecosystems and the profound impact a single species can have. By restoring balance to the park, these wolves didn't just change Yellowstone. They offered hope for conservation efforts everywhere.